understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
You have failed this city.
So I have this thing with roles. There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
You're the boy from the circus.
I started up a security firm.
Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, October 19th, 2019. I'm Little Eddie O'Hare.
And I'm Sarah Netzley, academic by day, writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And good news, bad news. The good news is there were 6 new episodes this week. The bad news is there were 6 new episodes this week. Like, I love it. I love the content, but I got lazy about just watching whatever and not being on a schedule and being like, you got to stay on top of this. So, but we have 6 good episodes. Arrow is back.
Yes. One of them is, we had a premiere. We had a final season premiere.
And it was a good one. I mean, we'll talk about it in depth, but it made me realize how much I'm going to miss this show. When it's good, it's very good.
And it's going to get busier because we got Watchmen dropping next week.
We're going to go up to 7.
7 regular shows. Wow. This is intense. This is intense. And it's the fall, so there's like no weeks off. Like there's
yeah, I'm already like, are anybody gonna skip a week? No, we're just on, all of us. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a winter and spring thing. In the fall you go straight through.
Yeah, you start looking toward Thanksgiving, like, are you gonna give us you're gonna do something the night before Thanksgiving? Okay, great. Thanks. Actually, I was just looking at, this is not DC, but His Dark Materials on HBO premieres in November, and dang, they go straight through. Like every Sunday, Thanksgiving Sunday, December 23rd is the finale. Like they're not stopping for anything. So,
wow,
it's just TV now. It's just what we do.
It's what we do. And we're excited. Oh, Sarah, so much exciting stuff going on. Do you want to just jump right into the recaps? Do you want to just like, I know we usually do a little bit of chit chat at the front, but I mean I
just have to brag for a quick second. I have been in the same room and breathed the same air as Cassandra Peterson. And if that's not a name that anybody recognizes, perhaps it's because you know her better as Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Oh.
She was at the Chicago Pinball Expo last night, where I was as well. And there's a new Stern pinball machine, Elvira's House of Horrors, and it's delightful, and I played it, and it's super fun, and she was there for a Q&A, and I just had to wonder, what's it like to be the first guy in line to meet Elvira? Like, you line up 2 hours early, and you're the first guy there. It's commitment. Commitment to meeting the actress who plays Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. That was my yesterday, so it was great.
Wow.
She is lovely.
Wow. I just stayed in and watched the Yankee game. Oh.
So we both had our heart palpitating moments.
Yes, we did.
Mine had perfect posture and beautiful creamy skin. So I assume yours did too.
Well,
the Yankees carry themselves very well.
Yeah. Well, all the action happened in the first inning, and then you're just biting your nails, hoping that, waiting for the end. It's like, is it over yet? Nothing else. No one's hitting anything. What's going on?
Bless baseball.
All right.
Okay, now we can dive
in. All right. So first episode up is Batwoman. Season 1, Episode 2, The Rabbit Hole. Kate and Jacob thought back on their futile search for Beth after the accident. Kate was determined to prove her theory that Alice was actually her long-lost sister. Mary tried getting Kate to hang out with her. Kate was really upset that Sophie married a guy. Last minute reveal, Alice sent Kate a message that she knows who's been running around in the Batsuit.
Hey, episode 2 of Batwoman was fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was good.
It was fun. It was fun.
Fun, maybe fun is the wrong word. I enjoyed it, but it was dark. So I'm sorry, I retract fun. I enjoyed watching it. That's different than it being fun.
Yeah. I think some of the stuff that they were playing around with, the one thing that I will say is starting to grain on me a little bit, and I mentioned it last week, is the flashbacks. It seems like they're going the Arrow route, where every act we're going to have one moment where we look back on something that happened years ago. And I understood it in the pilot, like to give context to everything, but now it's starting to get a little much, and I'm really hoping that they dial that back.
Oh, that's interesting. I was glad to see the flashbacks of the accident, because I think I guess I knew that she had this trauma in her background. I liked seeing it because I'm a twisted individual apparently, but I like the context to her guilt that we saw there. I was kind of hoping it was just to set up her background, and like you, moving forward, there would be nothing flashbacky, but it would be kind of weird to have big flashbacks in the first 2 episodes and then no more. I guess. Yeah,
and
but no, that's you're correct. I don't need another flashback show.
Yes, yeah. However, and I would have liked to see her in the Batsuit more. Though I am actually, it's been 2 full episodes and we haven't gotten the red hair yet, and that is very surprising to me.
Well, you gotta stretch your bat wings and get used to the costume before you start adding accessories. Right?
Yeah, but this is not a Netflix show where the whole purpose is that he's going to be in the end. He's going to be in the suit by the end of the season. This is a network show where, like, you have that pilot to get them in that suit and establish the character and have them running around. I think she.
Counterpoint. This is a network show, and so you have up to 24 episodes a season to get up and running.
Well, what I'm saying is, but you have to establish your status quo much faster. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right, I can see that.
So I'm gonna say I'm liking all the drama. I like the characters, but until she ends up with that red hair, this show's on notice.
Is this a Jim Gordon stash situation?
Yeah, kind of, but a little bit more severe, I would think. I think, because like when I think of Batwoman from the comics, I think of that iconic costume and that look and all the beautiful artwork that comes with that. And I'm disappointed that the show has not gotten to that point yet.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But you're right. She is very upset about the husband situation.
Yes. Yes. And I'm not quite sure how to navigate this. I mean, it's almost getting to like Julia Roberts in My Best Friend's Wedding territory.
I mean, everybody's got that one who got away, right? She's just got to kind of grapple with that, I guess.
I mean, would you take Tyler over Dermot Mulroney?
Always Dermot Mulroney. Always Dermot.
I think that's the reason Cameron Diaz is so famous, is just because Julia Roberts was so mean in that movie.
Oh, hey, let me take this opportunity to pimp my guest spot on Moving the Needle this week.
Oh, yes.
I completely forgot to do that because I'm bad at promo. But I appear on the Moving the Needle podcast to defend the premise that rom-coms are alive and well, mostly on streaming, but still. And so My Best Friend's Wedding came up as we had that conversation with the group, and I think I won my argument, but y'all are going to have to listen and let me know if I defended the honor of my beloved genre of movie properly. So anyway, Moving the Needle. Check it this week. Rom-coms are alive and kicking. Anyway, back to Batwoman.
So yeah. So I think that's basically the extent of Sophie and Kate's relationship. I look forward to that getting a little bit more adult in the future, or just mature.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. um,
Well, I look forward to her husband turning out to be a bad dude and being moved out of the picture, because I feel like that's going to happen.
Ooh, okay.
As we've discussed.
Okay. And yeah. And you know what? Mary in this show is trying really hard. You know, she has this stepsister who just moved back into town. She's trying to connect, and it's not really working out. Is this a lost cause? Should Mary keep fighting for this? Or is this going to end badly for her?
I think she should keep fighting. I think Mary is a delight. I like the counterpoint to Kate's bitterness. Not bitterness, but you know, you've got the rain cloud and the sunshine, and I like the sunshine in Mary, and I think she's going to be an important counterbalance to the darkness that Kate is sort of living in. So I hope she doesn't give up. I love her.
Cool.
Nobody hurt Mary. Hands off.
I think she should probably choose a safer workplace, but
maybe better security, maybe something.
All right. And
as always, I remain delighted that Kate, that we're not sitting on this who is, you know, what's Alice's real identity, that she just came right out with it. It's my sister. She's not dead. I'm really thrilled that there's not secret keeping, because secret keeping is the worst thing to watch.
Yeah. And do you think her dad believes her now, right?
I think so. I hope so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, what's stepmama Dearest up to? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And that's right. She was covering up. And now here's the other thing. The one flashback I did like was the one that was from Jacob Kane's perspective. And I thought that did give some good context to the character. You know, that he's not just this curmudgeon who's focused on his job and is not going to listen to anybody else. I think it gave him a little bit of pathos.
Yeah, I agree. Now you have me thinking about flashbacks. Yeah, I don't need a bunch of them, but these are new characters, and if this is how we learn about them, you know, okay.
You know what I think?
I just don't need the flashbacks to Lee and you.
Yeah,
that's what I don't need that level of.
Yeah, you know what? I think they may be better with like the way Preacher handled flashbacks, where it would be like the top of the episode, you'd see one scene that would give context for what happened, and then after the and then just basically after the logo, then we jump to the future and we jump to the present and stay there the whole time. I think that may be a better approach, but you know, it doesn't look like Batwoman's going to go there, but that's okay.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. They can roll with changes if they need to.
All right. You was there any news for Batwoman?
Nope. Just welcome to the fold, lady.
Cool. And we're moving on to Supergirl. Season 5, Episode 2, Stranger Beside Me. Kara was really bummed out that Andrea was making her actually do her job. John's interaction with his brother left him with a rare Martian illness that forced him to dig up lost memories. Alex and Brainy each made breakfast for their significant others. The captive Miss Tessmacher tried to regain Lena's trust. Last-minute reveal, Lena told the hopified Eve that their plan to rebuild humanity was ready to move forward.
Hopified Eve. That's funny.
Yes. And that plan to rebuild humanity, you know, I mean, at this point, she's going full Lex. Like,
oh yeah, the path to evil super genius villain is paved with very good intentions, but that is what is happening.
Yeah,
she hopified her betrayer assistant person.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty.
Also, as a curly-haired American, I object to the idea that straight hair indicates like obedience and goodness or whatever. It was interesting that Eve becomes sleek, smooth hair lady once she's subjected. So yeah. Anyway, justice for curly-haired Americans.
There you go. There you go. So yeah. And Kara, Kara had a rough time this episode.
Yeah. Catco is terrible.
Okay, so
in a way that makes no sense.
Okay, so could you give us the journalism angle on this?
Yeah, okay, let me tell you. Copy editor is a very specific role in the newsroom. You don't just say to anybody, you're the copy editor now. No, that's not how it works. Now, can Kara handle it? Probably. She seems adept at everything she does, but you don't want just to assign that to anybody willy-nilly. The whole shift is so bizarre. It's so... Just talk to a journalist, any journalist, showrunners, any random journalist, and they'll be like, no, that's not how it works to shift gears like that midstream.
Well, the thing...
More importantly, William.
Yes, William.
Does he know? He knows, right?
I mean, I think he knows something. He may not know exactly, but I think he's starting to catch on.
He doesn't know what he knows.
Yeah, I think that may be it. Now, the one thing I will say, the thing I found really annoying was the scene in the conference room at the beginning where Andrea is like handing out assignments, and she tells Kara, "Oh, I want you to do this," and Kara just like, that's not really my thing. That really ticked me off because that seemed like Kara does not understand. You know, I mean, because I've been at jobs and there's a pecking order and there's a time when you could speak up and there's a time where you just take an assignment. And I found it really frustrating that Kara wasn't able to figure out the difference.
That assignment was such a ridiculous assignment that I kind of get it. That's, first of all, covering the fashion at your Pulitzer. Oh my God. It doesn't. Ed, don't even make me. Of course she's going to be like, no, that was literally the party where I was awarded my Pulitzer, and you want me to write about the fashion? Number one, I was involved with the event, so that's weird. And number two, no, I don't do that. That's fair. That's fair. Didn't Nia, when she started, want to do fashion type? Didn't she? Am I crazy thinking about? She pitched a whole like fashion as there's I hate it. I also want to know what that office remodel is going to look like. She's turning it into an Apple store, isn't she?
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like, okay, you have your job, you have your assignment. You know, the time.
I think she has a point that she has not been on that beat. This shift is very abrupt. She's been doing, public policy, public affairs reporting type stuff. It is I get why she's objecting. I understand. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody would be on edge. So I'm actually Team Kara on this, but I'm anti this whole storyline because it's so stupid.
Okay.
But she and William are 100%. That ship has launched, y'all.
Ooh,
that is
okay.
They're for sure setting up this enemies to lovers. Like, you think he's a terrible guy, but he's working at a soup kitchen. He says he has a wife. He doesn't really have a wife. I mean, there's no way he really has a wife. So, yeah, I'm telling you that they're trying to set this up as the new couple on the show, and we'll see how that goes, because that fandom in terms of shipping is wild. So good luck, Supergirl showrunners.
Speaking of couples, there were two other couples that had interesting storylines.
Professional podcaster transition. Well done.
So do you want to talk about Alex and Kelly first, or Brainy and Nia?
Brainy and Nia would be a little bit easier, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they start off great, and then Brainy sends too much sushi, which I didn't know was a thing. And Nia didn't look happy at the end there.
Yes. Yeah. She feels like she's being smothered.
In sushi.
Brainy. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, I kind of did too. But I do, being in a relationship with somebody who is super literal but really smart, it does sound like the worst possible combination of character traits. So
have you ever gotten home and Jason's insisted on reading poetry to you?
Never, not once. Not even a little, not even a limerick. And I'd like to think that's why our relationship
Oh,
works,
there you go.
actually.
There you go. Now, okay, so how long have Kelly and Alex been together?
Okay, I'm not sure. Not long, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, long enough for Kara to write a story that won a Pulitzer, and that doesn't happen immediately. So there's got to be some months in between there. But long enough that you should have had the I carry an EpiPen conversation.
Okay.
That feels like an important thing to share.
Just yeah, and you know, I thought it was an honest mistake, and Alex seemed to be taking it really, really hard.
Well, I kind of feel like it's on Kelly. If you're with somebody such that there is a possibility that they will be making you breakfast, that's the time to say, here are my allergies.
Mm.
And also, she's allergic to cats. Deal breaker for me.
Okay. And finally, the one big storyline for this week is John and his lost memories. Finally figures out that he had a brother who betrayed the Green Martians to the White Martians.
Were you satisfied with how they were able to retcon a brother into things for John?
Yeah, that works. That's standard comic procedure.
Do you love that every time we turn around, there's some new thing? Oh, on Mars, this is what happens. If you fight your brother, you both suffer. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Mars has some weird specific customs.
Somehow Martians end up in the Phantom Zone. It's a whole thing. Yeah. I thought that was cool. I thought that was handled well. The one thing, I'm just looking through here. You know, I'm just interested to see, like, how deep is he gonna go? Is John gonna get hurt trying to uncover these memories? And I really like John's brother as a villain. All the shapeshifting, you know, shapeshifting is always cool in any show. And
obviously,
yeah, and I thought it was interesting because, like, you didn't see him in Martian form for most of the episode. He was hiding around as other people, and I thought that was a cool take.
Yeah, agreed. I also feel like we've skipped over the very most important part of this episode, and that is James Olsen is gonna run for Senate?
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Look, we all politely ignored Kara winning a Pulitzer last week, but you want us to believe that James Olsen is being courted to run for Senate? What?
I mean, I don't know if you watch Succession, but I think James is more qualified than Connor Roy. But
well, I mean, anybody is more qualified than that, isn't it?
We'll see. He's gonna run. He might not win.
I guess that's no guarantee.
I mean, it seems like McCall Brook is sticking around, so we've got to have him do something.
Until he finally goes for whatever reason. And maybe it's because he gets elected to Senate. He's got to go to DC.
There you go.
I don't know.
There you go. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and he said he can't be a journalist anymore because of that contract.
Oh my God. This show is going to break me.
All right, I think for you.
I love this show. I feel bad criticizing, but.
Yeah, but I think for your personal safety, it's probably best if we move on. Was there any news for Supergirl?
Yeah, I might burst a gasket. Nope, no news.
Okay, all right. So moving on to Black Lightning. 3, Episode 2, The Book of Occupation, Chapter 2, Miriam's Tasby. Lynn and Jefferson argued about trusting the ASA while helping a meta named Miriam, whose powers were killing her. Gamby asked the stressed-out Inspector Henderson for help reaching Anissa, who was trapped outside Freeland with refugees on the Purdy farm. The Markovians set up shop outside Freeland. Lala angled to take his territory back from what was left of the 100 gang. Jen was pining for Khalil again at the same time Agent Odell ordered the recently brainwashed Khalil to kill his mom. Last-minute reveal, Jennifer stopped her classmates from fighting each other by beating them up.
Oh, man, this episode had a lot happening. I have to admit, I'm having a hard time juxtaposing invasion of a foreign power and street turf wars and school fights. It just feels kind of
this is all over the place.
There's a lot.
Yeah, this is another thing where like I need it. This is the show's called Black Lightning. I want to see Black Lightning. You know, and I think you know, the Blackbird stuff is cool, but I want to see more superhero stuff in this show. And it's in a place right now where it's not really going. You know, and Anissa didn't really use her powers. She spent most of the episode arguing with Anaya on the over what to do with the refugees. Jen obviously has drawbacks because, you know, she doesn't have control of her powers. And you know, at the end of that episode, it looks like she was coming dangerously close to exposing herself. Yeah, the Lala stuff is cool. You know, but that's another thing. Like let's hang out with this bad guy. But yeah. I mean, to me, it's, you know, all the intrigue that Gamby has. He you know, for a guy who's like not with the government anymore, he still has so much tech, like way more tech than he should.
It really does. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'd like to see Black Lightning be Black Lightning again, and I'd like to see Gamby just sort of being the butler. Not the butler, but the butler.
Someone needs to give Bill Henderson a hug. Like, that guy has been through a lot. He has his coworkers are getting arrested for no reason. He has the ASA breathing down his neck, and Gamby's pulling him in to do all this. Like, I think he needs a vacation.
He has had it with these mother trekking snakes on this mother trekking plane.
So yeah, Black Lightning. Let's get into it with Miriam and Lynn. So Lynn is helping Miriam, well, one, because she's told to, but really she seems like having her heart set on helping Miriam, because I think Lynn's close to running out of hope. And Jefferson is not making matters, is not being helpful at all with this.
Yeah, he's really not. Thanks a lot for your support there, sir. I was a little concerned when she was running Miriam through her paces there. I was like, oh no, that's not helping anybody. Mm-hmm. So, Lynn, what do you?
So do you see things getting better for Lynn and Jefferson anytime soon?
I think they need to get out of lockup. I don't think that's good for any relationship, and I think he's too kinetic a person to be locked up inside for much longer. And also, we need him to be out again, as you said, because he's Black Lightning, and that's what the show is. So, yeah, I don't know. How about you?
I think so too. I'm actually kind of worried that Jefferson told her about the fights that they were making the metahumans do, and what's going to happen when Lynn like really confronts Agent Odell about this.
Yeah, I like Lynn, but I don't trust her to be circumspect about information that maybe shouldn't be shouted at someone who has total power over them. So
yeah. And also Jefferson using his powers so much, like I don't think he realizes how much they're tracking him. You know, it seems like he thinks that he has the run of that floor and he can talk to anyone and no one will notice, but like no. They know whenever he uses his powers, they know who he's talking to and what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure those two are the best at understanding what like confinement by a hostile power means. Exactly.
Yeah. What I mean, I'm trying to think. Is there anything I'm missing? Is there
Well,
anything?
Lala and then Painkiller.
Mm.
Lala's back, and he can take a bullet directly to the head, and that's gross.
Yep. 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 Yeah. And he has an army of people that are living in his tattoos.
Yeah, I mean that's handy.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I'm interested to see. It seems like he's trying to take over Tobias's turf. And I'm interested to see how that plays out. And whether or not he's going to become more of a big bad this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, season 1, he was a great villain. At this point, though, it feels sort of small because of the Markovian BT dubs, Wolfsbane Mountain. Calm down, Wolfsbane. But it just the stakes got raised with that, and so Lala, it's like, okay, well, to take control of your city blocks, I guess. But yeah, it just disjointed, like you said.
Yeah. And as far as Khalil or Painkiller, he killed his mom. So
that was hard to watch.
It was.
That was sad.
It was.
That was. And at some point he's going to see Jennifer, and it's going to be sad, and I'm not ready for it.
Yeah. And is Jennifer going to be able to pull him back, or is she going to have to? Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, all right. There's no news for Black Lightning, right?
Correct.
All right. So we're moving on to The Flash, season 6, episode 2, A Flash of the Lightning. Barry asked for Jay Garrick's help, letting him peek past the antimatter barrier and view possible crisis outcomes. Cecile couldn't shake the feeling that a metahuman she was prosecuting was innocent. Killer Frost trolled an art gallery and worked on her own artistic expression. Last-minute reveal, Ramsey Rosso was attacked by the dead guy he was trying to biopsy.
I'm going to start with the most boring possible thing to discuss. And that is that I am old enough that when Cecile said she was going to go into, defending metahumans, I was like, girl, no. How much do you have invested in your government pension? And if you walk away now, you're going to lose the benefits of continuing to accrue. And when you retiring at X percent of your most recent salary, girl, stay in government service for the pension. That's how old I am. I just assume she's had some time in with the state and she doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And I feel like you would understand that because, you have a parent who probably has some kind of government something,
yes.
right? So
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to just walk away from that willy-nilly. That's all I'm saying.
My dad actually has a city pension and an army pension. But yes.
Does he do the money dance every night? Money dance.
Well, no, because he's not going to be able to collect for a few more years. In fact,
awesome.
Actually, he just turned 60 and he just started collecting his army pension this week. So, useless information for your everyday life.
This is why the O'Hares are going to start rolling in like fur coats. And
not likely. But I mean, it's the kind of thing where like it's a service that in Flash that we've seen. A lot of these metahumans don't have anyone to turn to, and most lawyers are not equipped enough. And I think this was very cool, and I thought it was very cool that Joe was behind it. That scene, you could tell that she was nervous about telling him, and I think it from a narrative perspective, I think it totally makes sense. And I think also, it's the kind of thing where like, she's well established. She has a husband who also is going to have a good cop's pension. And she's following her heart. And I thought this was the best storyline that Cecile has had in a while.
agreed. I joke, but it makes sense, and it keeps her involved in the cases of the week. I think a little bit better in that she's not going to be working at cross purposes. She's not going to have to be on the prosecution side anymore, and that I think makes her fit a little bit better in what the show wants to do with the metahuman narratives. And again, like realistically, you go from prosecution to private defense. That is a pretty common career arc, so it also makes sense. And she and Joe are great together. I enjoyed the high five and going off to do the thing. And I was skeptical about Camille a couple seasons ago. She's great. She fits really well. Well done, Camille.
Cecile.
Okay, Cecile. Yeah, whatever. That one. Joe's lady.
The people who are having a really rough time are Barry and Iris, especially Barry. Oh man. Of course.
I mean, that's not good news to get. You don't want to hear that.
Yeah. Well, also, like, of course, he shows up to meet Jay, and Jay's wife is his mom's doppelganger.
Of course.
Yeah, that was rough. And I'm glad that Iris told her, like, that they realized why Barry was acting so weird. So I'm glad that she figured out, like, oh, he thinks I'm his dead mom. Oh, okay, that's.
Oh, yeah, and I guess at first I was like, Barry, just tell her, but I suppose there's psychological things going into that.
Yeah, and what Barry did basically what Doctor Strange does in Avengers Infinity War, and he saw millions of different outcomes. And there's only one that worked, in which he has to sacrifice himself. So,
and he's gonna do it, and he's gonna fight with everybody about how he's gonna do it. That's just how it is.
Yep. And I think the more fun storyline that we saw in this episode is Killer Frost.
Aw, she's so great. Also, good work, show, for being like, here, I'm gonna hide your weird eyes and voice so we don't have to pay to animate that.
Yeah. That's funny. And she was learning all about artistic expression. Do you think internet trolls have anything to learn from Caitlin, from Killer Frost?
Here's how to be meaner. Say it to their face in the same room. Yeah, actually, I do.
I mean, just like this can be a parable that, like, art is subjective and it's really hard. And, think about that before you go criticizing people willy-nilly.
Yeah. I also really like her taste. I like the stuff that she ordered at the end there with poor Caitlin's credit cards.
Yes. I'm interested to see how long she's going to be in that body. When is she going to relinquish control back to Caitlin? Because Caitlin, has lives too. I don't see this ending up really well. Is it going to be a thing where, like, we see them, they switch off, like we get a Caitlin episode and then we get a Frost episode?
Or are they going to do a thing where we have to physically... No, you wouldn't want to split the two personalities, because then Caitlin doesn't have any abilities at all. It would just be kind of fun to see an episode where they're separate people interacting together before they get... You know what I'm saying? I could see that. Yeah. Somebody has to make a doppelganger Ray for an episode. The news reports were that this is going to be a Killer Frost season. Ooh. Not saying that it's going to be the whole season, but that we're going to see a lot more of Killer Frost. So I wouldn't be surprised if she is the driver for more episodes than we might expect. And I'm into it. I like it.
Yes. I thought Cisco and Ralph were doing a lot to help. And why hasn't Ralph found Sue yet? Like, this is the thing.
Why haven't we heard casting news?
Man. Yeah, like, get on that. Come on. All right. And yeah, at the end of the episode, Ramsey Rosso, up to no good.
Up to no good.
Yeah, poor Mitch. That guy Mitch, he just wanted to sell some guns. Ugh. So so that's slowly moving forward. Do you think we're gonna see Flash face off against Ramsey soon, or do you think this is gonna drag out a while?
I think Ramsey's got to bake a little bit more, doesn't he?
Yep.
Into true supervillain hardness.
I guess. Yeah, probably.
We're going to get more metas of the week. And the meta of the week this week is fine. As soon as she said journalism, I was like, well, I know how that's going to end up. So.
Yes. Esperanza. And and I thought the moment that Barry woke up and decided that he had to go fight her, I thought that was a valiant effort, the sacrifice. Yet a lot of people not being heroes this week, and especially earlier in the week. And to me, like, this moment with Barry, like, rejuvenated me a bit. Like, okay, heroes could be heroes. And the sacrifice and everything. I was really happy with that moment.
Yeah, it felt a little heavy-handed with the analogy. You know, Barry does what's right, and so Barry's going to do what's right in the bigger sense. Mm-hmm. But it worked. It was good storytelling. It got him to the point where he needed to be, and yeah, and it's always nice to see John Wesley show.
Yes. All right. Any news for Flash?
No. The season's just rolling on.
Hang on. There's real quick. No. Okay. All right. So we're moving on to Arrow. Season 8 premiere. Starling City. In 2040, Mia and new Team Arrow tried to rescue a tech mogul from a Deathstroke gang led by John Diggle Jr. In the present, Oliver posed as himself on Earth-2 to retrieve dwarf star particles for the Monitor and discovered a very different version of his family. Diggle followed Oliver to Earth-2 and insisted on joining him on his mission. Last-minute reveal, Diggle, Oliver, and Laurel jumped into a breach portal as red skies enveloped and destroyed Earth-2.
Oh, this final season is going to kill me. In the best way.
Yeah, it's intense. It is intense.
This episode was great.
Yeah. I gotta say, this was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. I liked all the Earth-2 stuff. And like we said earlier that it seemed like the first 7 episodes were going to reflect each season, and this like brought me right back to season 1 and everything that was going on in the show. The way they played with Malcolm and Tommy, and how they flipped certain things and certain things stayed the same, but everything was a little bit different. I thought that was really cool.
It was fabulous. I liked that they couldn't get Willa Holland back, presumably for this episode. So, okay, Thea OD'd, and that is what drove Tommy to do what he did. The noise I made when the Green Hood was revealed to be Adrian Chase. The noise I made, Ed. Ah! He and Oliver hate each other. Still, Adrian Chase is a good guy. And you still hate each other. I love it. It's so good.
I will say we did get a lot of tweets about this episode, especially from @Molly2910, Tanya, who wanted to say a big thank you to the writer who gave me Josh Segarra doing the salmon letter and Oliver's "oh please" moment. Bless you.
Okay, wait. I have to stop right there. Yes, Yes, thank you for that, and thank you for Oliver's show off. Like that was so perfect. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay,
and back to Tommy. She also said, "All I ever wanted was Oliver to fight Tommy as the Dark Archer, and I finally got it. I may have peed my pants a little. Also, when Oliver was in the chains, did Colin do a Barrowman? Might have been hard because Steven was not shirtless at the time."
Yeah, so good.
And also big thank you to the editors of Arrow, how they managed to get a scene of Oliver and Dig in that car. I do not know. The laughter on their faces the whole time. Steven and David broke characters so many times.
I gotta say, that was another time that when we thought, I thought it was Earth 2's Diggle. And when he said, I learned from experience, I locked the door, it was his Diggle. He came for him. It was so good. I just want to hug this whole episode close, like the tender gift it was. Ah!
Yes, yes. And also it's scary because like Diggle is way out of his depth. Like I don't think he realizes.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone realizes exactly what's going on. And yeah.
Well, and Oliver, here's the thing. Oliver's the superhero who cried wolf. Like, I have to do this alone. My family gets hurt. The people I love get hurt. Like, he says that every week. And so this time, he means it. And Diggle's like, no, I've heard this before. I'm going to stick with you, bro. And, oh.
Yep. And
it was awesome to see Queen Mansion. And then, of course, oh my God, the Felicity doppelganger, when Oliver says it was supposed to be red. Oh, Ed, it's gonna kill me. This season is gonna kill me. It was so good. Also, that was really well cast. How was that not? I mean, you almost could have her as a Felicity stand-in from a distance and say her lines like muffled and you wouldn't really know. It wasn't Emily Bett Rickard. She looked so much like her. It was spooky.
yeah, and well, it was the cadence too. She got the cadence down like perfectly.
And Oliver's little good for her when he found out that Earth's Felicity was running Smoke Tech. The whole thing was so lovely.
Yes. And again, he just walks right into Curtis's office and steals the info.
I mean, that is kind of how they treated Curtis when he was on the show. So,
Yeah. And the real person I felt for at the end of this episode is Laurel. And who's going to need serious therapy. Because, like, she follows Oliver through that portal and is going to have to be explained that, like, your Earth does not exist anymore. And everyone you grew up around is dead.
And she's changed enough that, she might care about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to my friend Tanya Melendez, who correctly pointed out that on Earth 2, lip plumpers are apparently a thing because Dinah and Laurel's lips were so puffy. It was like they punch each other in the mouth before they shot each scene because it was noticeable if you're a lady. Ed, you said you didn't notice, but it was super noticeable. Also, I forgot this, but Oliver sniping at Adrian, maybe I'm 10 steps ahead of you. Again, I cannot emphasize enough how much I enjoyed Oliver's residual. Yeah, you tortured me a lot with that guy.
Yeah, he had a rough time.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Now, the one thing we haven't talked about at all that I think we have to, because it was a big part of the episode.
Don't make me.
Is the future timeline with Mia and William and Zoe and Connor.
Whatever, it was fine.
So yeah, they were protecting this tech mogul Alberto Vasquez, who gets kidnapped by the Deathstroke gang. They found out John Diggle Jr. is the leader of the Deathstroke gang. Like, what's up with that?
What is up with that? What happened to JJ?
Well, something happened with his dad. He's like, screw you, Dad. I'm gonna become a Deathstroke now.
He just needs Oliver to show up and talk him into being good, like he did with Tommy.
Yeah, pretty much. That.
Hey, buddy, just be better, okay? Oh, okay. I did like the sibling dynamic. I liked William being like, nobody's listening to me. It's fine, whatever. William is my favorite of all of them. I like William a lot.
Yeah. I thought that was good. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was a decent story, but it seems so distracting. Like every time that they're there, I'm like, why can't we just get back to Oliver? Like, wait.
Yeah, that's really my problem with it. I think, I mean, it's hard to say because it's the premiere of the season. It felt a little less crappy, hopeless future and just a little more actiony. And I like that they pivoted away from crappy, horrible future. It makes the future scenes more palatable and enjoyable, but they're still distracting from the core cast that I want to see. You know, give me Moira Queen.
Yeah.
Give me time with her. Watching her red cloud away was sad. So.
All right. Is any news for Arrow?
Yeah. We Deathstroke news. We are getting a new Deathstroke in the present on the November 5th episode. Ooh. It will not be Manu Bennett, but it'll be somebody new. So I don't know how that'll connect to future or what have you, but I'm excited for that.
Cool.
And just a little bit of trivia. But Connor Hawke was initially supposed to be a regular on Legends of Tomorrow, while the show was kind of still finding its footing. And so that didn't actually happen. And now we have Connor on Arrow. But I thought that was kind of interesting. So how characters get shuffled between shows on the Arrowverse is always kind of interesting. So
yeah.
That's what I got for Arrow this week.
Okay. And all right. So that means we got one show left. And that is Titans. Season 2, Episode 7, Bruce Wayne. Dick was pestered by the voice of Bruce in his head as he tried to track down Slade Wilson. Eve broke out of Cadmus with Krypto in search of Connor, who was dying of kryptonite radiation. A traumatized Jason could not stop looking out his bedroom window. Last minute reveal, Dick admitted to Jason that he killed Deathstroke's son.
Well, this episode was heavy.
Yes. And like, to me, like last week was an incredible show, and it was an incredible episode, and I feel like the show has hit a new stride. I think they've got down the dynamics. It's still a little like heavy on the rated R. I mean, I know, like, you know, this is a streaming network. You could do whatever you want, but is this the first time we've seen full on nudity in this show?
Good. It's the first time it's been that I thought Games of Thronesy, and I don't mean that as a compliment. I mean boobs because we can put in boobs. Like, great, congratulations, guys. Yeah, that felt a little much for me. Counterpoint: we had Bruce Wayne doing the Batusi, if I saw that correctly.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And I House used to do this every once in a while, where a character is thinking about somebody else who's not really there. And I thought that Titans did that masterfully. Where it's the kind of thing where, like, he's not crazy. This isn't a mental illness. This is just, you know, he just hears Bruce in his head annoying him all the time. And he's, you know, because he doesn't want to face the truth.
Well, and what I like about that is it frees us from having to think about that as Bruce Wayne. It's Dick's version of Bruce. And so it's not real Bruce Wayne. So I watched that and thought, "Ooh, that's not the Bruce Wayne I know." And then I realized, no, it's not. That's how Dick sees him. So it's not a canonical take on Bruce. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It frees them up to make him be a different character because he's the character who lives in Dick's head. And so it doesn't get in the way of what we know about, you know, whoever is your Bruce Wayne, whoever that is. David Mazouz, obviously. Yes. Sorry, I just cackled like a witch there, but I don't know. I thought it was an interesting way to do it. I wasn't sure when we saw that the episode was going to be called Bruce Wayne if we would actually see Bruce, and we didn't, and I'm okay with that. I think that was smart.
Yeah. And I thought the journey he went on was interesting. To see exactly how much he knows about Slade. You know, I look forward to seeing more of Benny, even though Dick roughed him up a bit.
A little bit.
And I was impressed. Jason had a rough time this episode.
Oh, that guy needs some. I think he should talk to somebody. So a little talk therapy might help.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see. I thought him and Rose that made perfect sense. Like, oh, okay, they're gonna get together. And then when she found the album that was signed by her brother, that was tragic. I thought that was yeah.
That's gonna get worse before it gets better. I think.
Yeah.
Also, were you as surprised as I was to be reminded that Gar is still on the show?
Yes. Poor Gar.
I actually thought, does Eve have the wrong address? For a second, I was like, oh, right. Gar is still on the show. Of course.
And Rachel didn't show up until the last third of the episode.
But when she did, it was
good. Yes. Yeah. I mean, this is the problem with ensemble shows. At a certain point, you have so many characters that somebody gets short shrifted.
Well, and unlike Gotham could get away with, here's this group of characters and here's this group of characters. At this point, everybody's in the same physical place. So you can't really just we're only going to do these 4 characters this week and you're not going to notice the absence of the rest of them. They're all there. So
yeah. And they might have shown a scene where Gar checked on Jason just to try to help him out. And they might have cut that for time or for pacing. So some
I'm just saying Gar has not been a big figure this season.
No, not at all. No. And that, I think that's because they brought the vets back, because they brought Dawn and Hank and Donna in, who each had their own moments of finding mementos from Garth. Yes. And I thought that was a sick joke that Deathstroke was playing. And I'm wondering where Deathstroke is now. When Jason was on the roof at the end, I was worried that he would decide not to jump and then would get shot by Deathstroke.
You really went to a dark place. It didn't even occur to me.
Well, it's because I remember that poll, and I'm like, when are they gonna reveal the results of that poll? It's intense. It's intense, and and
Corey's son healed Connor.
Yes, yeah, and that shot of Rachel creating the barrier so that Corey would be able to help Connor without blowing up the tower. I thought that visual was amazing.
And I liked using combining their powers to accomplish something. I thought that was a great, team building tactic. And props for the actor who plays Connor for being naked in 2 out of 2 episodes. So,
Oh, that's right. We had full on nudity last week with Connor.
Well, different though. You had butt nudity, and that's, But yeah, Corey got to hug a naked Connor. So, unofficially Corey's the winner of the week, as far as I'm concerned.
and yeah. Do you think Eve sticks around Titan's Tower, or does she go into hiding like she says she will?
I hope she sticks around, because I really, really like her, and I really like the dynamic she has with Connor. I would love it if she would stick around, but I don't want to count my chickens. I don't want to want things that won't come true. Would you like her to stick around, or you want her to head out?
I want her to stick around, but I think she might try to split. I don't know. I think once she realizes what the Titans are, that maybe she'll stick around.
I feel like as a scientist, after you watch Corey and Rachel do their thing, you've got to kind of stick around to figure out what's going on, don't you?
Oh, that's true. Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be curious. Also, Crypto for Best Supporting Dog. At one point, he had the best reaction shot where he was just like, "Brr." So, Crypto.
Also,
good casting.
Seeing him in that glass cage, wasn't that heartbreaking?
I'm so glad Eve broke him out.
Yeah. And like, because there's an old Superboy cartoon from the '60s that was done by Filmation, um, where it was Superboy running around with Crypto, and I remember Crypto being an important character, and like seeing Crypto in this show is bringing back memories of watching that cartoon. And yeah, and I'm actually like shocked that they're able to get that character and do so much with him. You see, like he really is an important character in the show now.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. So I think this was there any news for Titans?
No, and we only have a little bit
No.
of other news. You want to move through that quickly?
Yeah, let's get to news for the shows.
Okay, for the Arrowverse crossover, we have more casting news. Actor Stephen Lobo, not to be confused with Krypton's Lobo, is going to play Jim Corrigan in all of the episodes of the crossover.
Do you know who Jim Corrigan is?
I super don't.
He's the Spectre.
That's not helpful.
Jim Corrigan is the original. The Spectre is a hero that goes back to the Golden Age, maybe older than Superman. I don't know, but definitely. But he is a detective who was killed and then turned into a ghost, and he's literally the wrath of God. And
that took me a place I didn't expect to end up.
yes, and he enforces God's wrath upon the wicked on Earth.
Oh.
And he is one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe. And in Crisis, he's one of the few people who's actually able to go toe to toe and fight the Anti-Monitor head on.
Huh.
So
he's kind of important.
He's very important. Interestingly enough, there was a version of Jim Corrigan on Constantine on NBC. And you did see him get Spectre powers at the end, but it was not played by Stephen Lobo. So I'm interested to see if they acknowledge that or they're just gonna completely ignore it, which they might, which would be fine. But Sarah, we're getting the Spectre.
I'm genuinely happy for you. Which okay. I will then transition to less happy news. Sue, there was a rumor going around, it broke just after you and I finished recording last week, that Tom Ellis's Lucifer would appear in the crossover. He was in Vancouver. He was seen on the set. Ooh, it's exciting. Tom Ellis himself told Entertainment Tonight that he is not in the crossover. He was visiting a friend in Vancouver on his birthday, and the rumor got out of control. But with his own mouth, Tom Ellis said he's not in the crossover. So I'd like to think it was a misdirect so we'd all be surprised, but I don't think that's the case. He sounded pretty.
So to recap the news so far, we are getting the wrath of God, but not the devil.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not sure. Neither of those is very comforting, but and if you seek out this ET online story, you will hear Tom Ellis's native accent, which is a little less posh than Lucifer's, and always surprises me when I hear it. So moving on to Stargirl.
Stargirl music.
This is another set it up and knock it down rumor, but there was a rumor online from a journalist with the Collider that perhaps Stargirl was going to move to the CW and the episodes would have to be cut to accommodate time and content for the CW. But producers behind the scenes knocked that rumor down and said, no, we're not going to the CW. We're not going anywhere, staying on DC Universe. So if you read about that, apparently it's been denied. It's not happening, but it does. I think the reason things like that pop up is because with HBO Max and with Doom Patrol moving to HBO Max, it kind of makes you wonder what's the future of DC Universe. And so I suspect that's kind of how this gained strength.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, to me, if anything, it would move over to HBO Max before it would move to the CW.
Yeah, the CW didn't make sense to me other than that Stargirl is in high school. And, that is a natural fit for the CW. Mm-hmm. But if it's going anywhere, I assume it's going to follow Doom Patrol over to HBO Max. But that's not, that was not part of the denial. So,
All right.
We'll see about the future for DC Universe. And then the last bit of news for the week comes from Lucifer, and that is Tricia Helfer is back. She was in hair and makeup behind the scenes and a lot of the photos and things that the cast were posting. And interestingly, she seems to be back in 50s housewife type garb, kind of the demure dresses and pearls, very, very mum like on Charlotte Richards like. So I don't know, there was no information about what episode, how many episodes, what the circumstances are. To me it looked a little dream sequency, like idealized mother kind of situation, but who knows what it could be. All I know is the cast seemed to be genuinely delighted to have Tricia Helfer back. It looked like one of those where the actress is incredibly well liked by the regular cast, and so people were thrilled to have her back on set. So that was nice. I enjoyed seeing all of that. So if you are interested in that, you can search that out certainly online at your leisure.
Sounds fun. Yeah, that's exciting. All right, and that's all the news for this week.
Yeah.
Wow. So that means now it's time for our winners of the week. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I can go first. This week, I am saying Past Trauma is the winner of the week. You've got Oliver facing a lot of people he lost, and a lot of bad feelings, particularly with, like, you know, your Adrian Chases. You've got John revisiting the war and potentially his brother's betrayal. You've got Kate revisiting her sister and mother's death. You've got Barry facing down his dead mother's doppelganger. You've got just everything happening to the Pierces over on Black Lightning. And of course, every single member of the Titans had some kind of trauma shoved in their face this week. So Past Trauma haunting our characters is the winner of the week this week for me.
Wow, I have a very similar one. I called it Hard Truths.
Ooh.
And yeah, it was on Batwoman. You had Jacob Kame come to terms with the fact that his daughter is Alice. On Supergirl, again, John, facing the hard truth about his brother. On Black Lightning, I went with Lynn, who is coming to terms with what Agent Odell is really doing with all the metas there. On Flash, you had Barry realizing that he's going to have to die to save the multiverse. On Arrow, you had John. You had Team Arrow realizing that John Diggle Jr. is leading the Deathstroke gang. And on Titans, it was Dick Grayson dealing with the hard truth that he killed Deathstroke's son and put all of these and caused this chain of events that's going on in Titans right now. So yeah, we were really on the same page.
Yeah, that's rarely do our winners overlap quite like that. So well done. And look at us, we're under an hour 10 for 6 episodes. That's impressive.
Yeah. Wow, Sarah, we're done. One quick thing, I usually mention it at the top of the episode, but but I'll mention it here. If you want to help us out, we're part of Wicked Theory Studios. Wicked Theory does have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Wicked Theory. For as little as $1 a month, you could just help with our overhead. And there is a free podcast. Or there's a podcast for all patrons to listen to, which is Ed Bonds with Bill, where I force our humble founder and friend Bill Sweeney to watch James Bond movies. Last week we watched The Spy Who Loved Me, which is my favorite Roger Moore film. And yeah, go check that out.
Okay. Yes. Can confirm. Good stuff. Do it.
All right. I think, are we done, Sarah? Are we done? Should I end the show?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's the DCTV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Little Eddie O'Hare.
And I'm at Sarah Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory podcast. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam!
Shazam!